But fellas, I gotta be honest with y'all. These trade requests is going. I mean, coincidence. I mean, yesterday Terry McLaurin he requested a trade request, but not only him, but also Micah Parsons, champ. So you got two players from the NFC East division requesting a trade: Terry McLaurin and Micah Parsons. Now, Terry McLaurin, Washington, they still plan on keeping him, champ. He wants to get paid top-notch money, but at the same time, and shout out to our guy Rico, who covers the Commanders. I think that the Commanders, they're going to do what they can to keep Terry McLaurin. First of all, he's 29 years old. Now, if he were 25, 26, 24, that'd be a different story. Micah Parsons, on the other hand, this is just the example of the Dallas Cowboys, man. I mean, what do I need to say? Even Micah Parsons even said, you haven't even talked to his agent. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. You haven't even talked to his agent regarding the negotiation deals. And now he's telling you he wants out of Dallas. He loves Dallas, the city, but now he wants out. And I don't know what Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys organization. As for Terry McLaurin, look, I'm going to give the Washington Commanders organization with Josh Harris, with Magic Johnson, some grace. Because would I like to see Terry McLaurin go? No, because again, you're losing Jaden Daniels' best target. And Washington throughout this offseason, they've had a really good offseason, champ. You mean the trade for Laramie Tunsil? You got Deebo Samuel in the trade. We got the offensive lineman from Oregon. You know, Washington, this is not the same ownership with Daniel Snyder. So you have a lot to look forward to for Washington. As for Dallas, okay, Micah Parsons still hasn't been signed. And look, Jerry, he did this last year with Dak Prescott and CD Lamb. So my thing is, Jerry, you better hurry up and you better figure out a way to pay Micah Parsons his money. Otherwise, he wants out. Micah Parsons has made the 4 Pro Bowls, 3 all-team, 3 all-pros. His body of work speaks for itself. If you lose him, and plus they've dealt with injuries this season, champ, with the offseason, with the offensive line.
Yes.
And now they brought back Lael Collins. So my thing is, say it ain't so. I mean, the episode, say it ain't so. I mean, Washington, you got to figure out a way to take care of Terry McLaurin. I believe they'll find a way to take care of Terry because he's coming off a great year with Jaden Daniels. You finally see with Terry McLaurin, with a legit quarterback like a Jaden Daniels, what he's capable of. Because he was productive, even without Jaden Daniels. He had Carson Wentz, he had Alex Smith, he had Russell Dwayne Haskins. He's had other quarterbacks that nowhere near the talent or caliber as Jaden Daniels. Meanwhile, with the Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons, who you drafted with the 12th overall pick, who you had the 10th overall pick, but you traded to Philadelphia. Philadelphia ended up getting Devontae Smith with the 10th overall pick. My thing is, man, owners, you better get ahead with the times. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, champ and BRF. Jerry Jones ain't changing. He is not changing. He's going to continuously do things his way. And this is going to be a problem for the Dallas Cowboys because you still haven't paid your best player. We're about a month away of the regular season. The season opener starts September 4th, Thursday Night Football on NBC against the reigning Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles. So, champ, I am concerned for Washington, but I believe at some point in time we'll get this done. Meanwhile, for the Dallas Cowboys, this is nothing new because this is Jerry Jones with his ego. You saw what he did before with Ezekiel Elliott. You saw what he did with Dak Prescott. You saw what he did with CD Lamb. Jerry, Jones is not changing. That's the bottom line. BRF, I know you don't like talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And yes, there was that trade regarding the Atlanta Falcons for Micah Parsons. Y'all too, considering the fact that y'all Atlanta Falcons fans, y'all can dive into that. Hey, if you get a Micah Parsons, because you had Matthew Judon at one point, why not get you a Micah Parsons who is younger, who has more potential, who, if you add him on the team, and at one point, Atlanta last year, y'all were 6-3 in the first half of the season. Y'all fell off because of Kirk Cousins with his play and the turnovers. Bijan Robinson is one of the top 3 running backs in football. Drake London is having a good season. And again, a lot is on Kyle Pitts for him to ball out this year. So if you're Atlanta and you're disappointed because you were the favorites last year to win the division, Tampa won the division, you would consider it, but you wouldn't have to give up a whole lot for Michael Parsons. So for me, say it ain't so. With these owners for Washington, I'm going to give it some grace because it's the new ownership, champ. Because if this were Daniel Snyder, I'd be a hell of a lot more concerned. As for Jerry Jones, he's not changing. And Agrarius Williams said it best. Jerry did the same thing with Emmitt Smith back in 1993. Jerry is not changing. So this is just Jerry Jones and his ego. And when Michael Parsons is saying that you're not even willing to speak to his agent, that tells you how you are as an organization and how complacent you are. So, champ, the floor is yours.
Jerry, from me to you, stop the drama. Stop the drama. You don't need it. You bring enough attention to the Cowboys as it is in order to, by just being America's team. You don't need to draw out all this drama. You need to say, it's like every single year, it's the same old, same old. You drag it out and drag it out and drag it out. And at the end of the day, you end up playing yourself because you end up with a lot less cap space the very next year. And so there's no need to drag it out. I mean, and it's so bad right now in Dallas. The climate is so thick in Dallas that all of the defensive players changed their Twitter profile pictures to Micah Parsons. All of the defensive players, Trayvon Diggs, Bland, all of them, Geno Bland, all of them changed they want CeeDee Lamb weighed in on it. We don't need all the extracurricular activities. Go ahead and pay the man what you owe him. So you don't need a circus. Enough's enough. The thing is, I have an old saying, what's your learning curve, a flat line? The flat line don't have to be your learning curve. People may argue with me, but I pay attention to Dallas. Why? My mother's a Dallas Cowboy fan. I have to watch them so she won't go off and have a conniption later on by watching. Because sometimes she'll get mad as hell. So I watch them and I pay close attention. This is arguably the best chance that you have this year in order to do anything. If everybody is healthy, you have a chance to do something. Everybody was whining and complaining. Jerry Jones doesn't go for broke. He doesn't go for broke. Well, he did over the offseason. He had a hell of a draft. I know Guyton just got hurt, but he's only going to be out for about 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. I know he's out. But they drafted the running backs that they need. They went and got George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers to pair along with CeeDee Lamb, so teams won't be keying in on him. You got the tight end. So you have everything you need. Only thing you need to stop with all these distractions. What's so funny about Jerry is he had got teed off at Jimmy Johnson because remember, and you know this for a fact, BRF, because we was kids when this happened, but you remember this. Remember when the Jacksonville Jaguars was looking for their first coach, right? because they were an expansion team, and they reached out to Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy Jones said if they reached out to him, that he'd quote unquote listen. And I'll never forget, in Jerry's own words, he said, I had the reddest neck in Texas. He said, I was really annoyed because we risked the wheels coming off and it risked being a distraction to the team. But what was so funny about that, when that happened during Jimmy's last year, you didn't sign Emmitt Smith to damn week 3. That was distraction enough. So him being a distraction by saying he'll listen to the Jacksonville Jaguars job when they first came out, I think it was back in 1995, and you said, well, that was a distraction. You played a role in the distraction by not signing Emmitt Smith. You don't need all of these distractions. This is your best chance this year. This is your best chance. You have a chance. I'm not finna say you're going to win the Super Bowl because I'm not that guy. You're not finna see me say, Dallas has a chance to win. Nope. Dallas is going to win. Nope. You have a chance to win. Everybody's healthy. The moves you made in the offseason. What I will say, I'll put Dallas's draft up. I'll say the best 2 to 3 drafts it had to be Dallas and the Baltimore Ravens. They had 2 of the best drafts this year. Ness. But Jared, there's no need for all these distractions and you to be putting this on the team. A lot of stuff doesn't need to be done. And when the team is coming out saying there's no need to be distraction, then there's no need to be a distraction. Go ahead, pay Micah Parsons, or if you're going to trade him, trade him. I mean, look, I got the trade in my hand right about now, and they said that a Falcons beat writer, insider had it. But like I said, like BRF said, unless it's Adam Schefter, Ness. But unless it's Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport, I really don't trust it. So here's the proposed trade. The proposed trade. 2nd round pick, a 3rd and 4th swap, a 1st round pick from 2027, Kyle Pitts, Tyler Aguilar, and Braylon Trice.
Would you do it, champ?
I'm not ready to give up Tyler Aguilar. I'm not ready to give up the bowling ball as of yet. I'm really not. I mean, I think he would be an asset to Dallas because, before Bijan Robinson got there, he was our leading rusher. But that's one that I'm not willing to part with. I'd say throw in a 7th round pick instead of him, and we'll give you that trade then. But I'm not ready to give up Tyler Aguilar. I don't think that you need to just run Bijan to death. Bijan is a top 5 back, top 3 back in the league, but I don't want to run Bijan to death. Let Tyler Aguilar come in the red zone situations and do what he do. That's one I'm not willing to give up. Everybody else, hell, send them on. Send them on. I'll be glad to trade that for Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. Damn, I can never say the dude's name right. But before Parsons, we have not had a legitimate, not one of these flash in the pans type of guy.
John Abraham.
Exactly. Well, him and Patrick Kearney, because Patrick Kearney wasn't no joke neither.
Underrated.
But John Abraham in his days with the New York Jets and with Atlanta.
Yeah, I remember I'll never forget John Abraham's first game. He had, I think it was 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and recovered a fumble. And damn, they got
ate the Carolina Panthers alive his first game.
Alive. That was his first game. So that was his first game. I was like, this is something special right here. And I think that was our best defensive line. I think we had him, Patrick Kearney, we had Grady Jackson and Rod Coleman that year. All of them double-digit sacks.
What was the 2000? What year was that?
I forget what year it was, but I remember that year like it was yesterday. Rod Coleman. Yeah, it was Rod Coleman, Grady Jackson, Patrick Kearney, and John Abraham. They all made the Pro Bowl.
I think it was the 06 team. It was the 06 team. I think.
Yes, the 06 team, the Mike Vick team. But that was something special. But we haven't had pass rushers legitimately since him and Patrick Kearney. Brady Smith was a good pass rusher as well. but we haven't had that legit guy that somebody had to key in on so it can make a way for the other guys. As far as Washington is concerned, number one, I'm gonna just be real. Go ahead and play Scary Terry. Pay him. Because guess what? I don't think that Jaden Daniels has the year that he has without Scary Terry. I know people are going to say, well, he's a skill player. He's replaceable. Everybody is expendable. Not everybody is replaceable. And he has been to Washington what Mike Evans has been to Tampa Bay. Consistency, professional, and that glimmer of hope. Before Tom Brady got there, Mike Evans was killing it. He got even better when Tom Brady was there. Although people will say, well, it's just consistency. That's what you want in the league, consistency. What am I supposed to be? Inconsistent? I'm supposed to have a boom or bust season? No. I know he gets hit because he gets 1,000 yards every single year. It doesn't go into 15. But I am consistent. I am proven. I am the guy. And Terry McLaurin has been that constant threat since he got there. He has been to Washington what?
That's Mike a great analogy.
Tampa Bay. He has been that. So go ahead and take care of him just like Tampa Bay took care of Mike Evans. Go ahead and take care of your guys who stuck with you because anybody else would have been paid. Take care of your guys who stuck with you, through the tough time.
But do you want to reset the market with Terry, champ? That's the thing.
If you have to reset the market, so be it, because your rookie is still on his rookie contract right about now. You still have a chance to get free agents next year. When you open up that stadium in RFK, which will be open, I think, in 2020, I think later on down the line, how fitting would it be for you to open up RFK Stadium and you're bringing a Super Bowl back to Washington, D.C., a.k.a. Chocolate City? How good would that be?
As about as you going to Waffle House.
Yes. So how good would that be? You bring them back a Super Bowl to Chocolate City, and you're doing it with a guy who stuck with your team through thick and thin. He stayed. A lot of guys would have left. I know I'd got the hell on. I can't stay up here and lose like this. I got to deal. The thing is, you got to think about what Terry McLaurin has been through.
Yeah, in Washington, exactly. Considering the ownership with Dan Snyder. But now with the new ownership, I have to pay him. But at the same time, but if I lose him, then it's going to regress the offense. I'm going to have to ask Jaden Daniels to do a hell of a lot more, not just with his arm, but also with his legs as well. And, I was skeptical of Cliff Kingsbury at one point during last season, champ. I've said it before with Cliff Kingsbury. Now, if I'm Washington, I have to keep Terry. And it's really disappointing because, again, at some point you would have thought that they would have reached a deal, but they haven't. But Washington doesn't plan on trading him. But you better pay him. And if you don't pay him, what are you going to do? You're going to give him the franchise tag? At some point, you should take care of him. I understand he's 29 years old, and the age part that is a concern. But that being said, you still have a window to compete for a Super Bowl. You just fresh off from the NFC Championship last year. So, in pitch grid process, with all this cap space, what's the hesitancy? Seems to me Washington is hesitant because, again, they don't want to pay a wide receiver who's approaching 30 years old. But my thing is, if he's still consistent and productive, what's the risk? He hasn't had any durability issues. He has no character, no off-the-field issues as far as I'm concerned. And he's been productive with less-tier quarterbacks.
Yes.
So why not pay him? As for Dallas with Micah, we don't expect nothing else. Champ, I told you before, listen, you may be too hard on yourself, but Mama Champ really doesn't give you enough credit as a son, because the fact of the matter is you taking time to watch them Dallas Cowboy football games and to give her the insight and perspective, that just tells you what hell of a son that you are. Because if my mama tried to tell me to watch a Dallas Cowboys game, I'm like, no.
Hey, man, I had a good childhood, man. And look, it was a house divided because I'm the only Falcons fan in my house. Mom is a Cowboys fan. Dad is a 49ers fan. I'm the only Falcons fan in my house. And Ace, she doesn't watch sports like that. So, yeah. But I'm not going to lie, man. People keep talking about Terry McLaurin's age. You just signed
Zach Ertz.
You just traded for Manos De Piedra. He's 29 years old. What the hell? What are we talking about here? That's kind of like me saying I'm eating healthy, but I go to Chick-fil-A the next day. What the hell are we talking about?
I'm going to say Taco Bell.
No, yeah, Taco Hell. But Taco Hell.
You going straight to Taco Jail if you keep saying that.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's Taco Hell. I mean, you know the reason why. Hell. So it's kind of like
for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons. So you traded for Deebo Samuels. History with injury. There was rumors that came out that he was out of shape last year. T.O. was out there having a field day on him, saying that he's a chicken nugget away from being a tight end. So you just brought a guy in that's my age and has not been nowhere near the model of consistency that I have been. And not to mention, he's been out there in San Francisco. He's had good teams. He's had other wide receivers in order to take the heat off of him. Last year, every year he's had somebody in order to take the heat off of him.
But you have to play devil's advocate, champ, because you told me, and I was skeptical with Deebo Samuel because I saw him wearing that Eagles jersey. He looked like he was hanging out with you with daiquiris and po' boys, but you told me that contract year. He's in a contract year. This is a make it or break it year for Deebo Samuel. So you never know with Deebo. Now, if he's in a new team and with Cliff Kingsbury running the offense, and Cliff Kingsbury, say what you want about him, he's been doing his job as the offensive coordinator. Imagine how he would utilize Deebo in the running game.
Yeah, he's going to utilize him, but the thing is, I'm on Terry's side on this one.
No, I'm with Terry's side too. Yeah. He better get paid, and he has no issues, so he has enough leverage. But my thing is, he wants to get paid CD Justin Jefferson money. That's the problem or concern. And I don't know if Washington is willing to do that. Meanwhile, Washington, you got other needs you got to address. I've been trying to tell you about that defensive line, champ. How many times I've had to tell you about Montez Sweat? I told you about how valuable he was to the team. I had no problem moving on from Chase Young.
Yeah, the Predator. But, yeah, I'm going to just be real. They have a lot of things they have to address. But the thing is, if you want to attract free agency and be, one of those models of consistency, pay your guys who have been there. I survived the Dan Snyder years, not just what was on the damn field, but what was off the field with all of this guys' lawsuits and little stuff like that. I survived all of that. Now that we finally have some success in Jaden Daniels' first year, now you don't want to pay me? I understand it's a completely different regime, but the thing is, without Scary Terry, do Jaden Daniels have the year that he has last year? Does he have a rookie year? Probably not.
No.
Does he have that cushion that he has? I mean, that deep ball, they call him Scary Terry for a reason. He is a speedster. So sign the guys who were the cornerstones of this franchise. Terry McLaurin is the cornerstone of this franchise. So get him signed and make you a run to the Super Bowl. The only team you have to worry about really in this division at this moment is Philadelphia. Dallas is a damn circus. You don't know what you're gonna do. They don't want to. They don't know what.
I wouldn't sleep on the Giants, champ, because of what they've been doing with that defensive line. And even though with the Madden ratings with Cam Scatterboo, I would not be surprised Cam Scatterboo is in the discussion for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the major team.
No, I mean, obviously it's Philly because they're just fresh off from winning the Super Bowl and the roster is presently constructed. And I've told BRF before, Howie Roseman is still the best executive in football.
I mean, yeah, and he's stealing from my state. So yeah, but yeah, but pay the guy. And the thing is, we don't know what Russell Wilson is still going to be capable of doing. Even if he is, cast out, we don't know what Jackson Dart is going to be able to do. Plus, I'm not very, very sure about that offensive line. So
what about Martin Luther King Winston?
No. I mean, he had that 30 for 30 year, but that was about it.
Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back.
No problem, BRF.
But yeah, when you think about it, the only team that you really have to worry about that is set in stone is Philly. I'm not really worried about the Dallas Cowboys right about now because they're a circus. They're already distracted. Yes, the New York Giants are up and coming, but guess what? I don't know how the quarterback play is going to be this year. I don't know who's going to play. I don't know if Russell's still any good. I don't know a lot of things. This might be the year that Russell falls off a cliff completely. So, only team I'm really worried about competing with is the Philadelphia Eagles. It's kind of like you being in the East back in the 80s and competing with the Boston Celtics. The Philadelphia Eagles are this year's Boston Celtics. They are that team. Barred any injuries, they're that team.
But to be honest with you, champ, they've had to let go of some people, particularly Josh Sweat, and then on top and CJ Gardner-Johnson. And teams who've won the division the previous year, they don't end up winning it the following year. So with Philadelphia, there's going to be some concerns as well, too, because they already know the game plan on offense, which was taking away Saquon. Now, we expect Jalen Hurts to improve his play, champ, but again, teams in that division who've won it back-to-back years, you got to go back to the Eagles in the 2000s, the early 2000s. Since that time, it hasn't been replicated. And with the thing is, with Philadelphia, okay, you're fresh off from winning the Super Bowl. You still can't ignore the Los Angeles Rams, who are still in that NFC. Green Bay, okay, they struggle. Jordan Love with injuries, the wide receivers with injuries. Philly's still going to be the team to compete within the NFC, but their chances of them repeating is not going to be as easy. So we have to keep that in perspective.
Yeah, you go from being the hunter to the hunted. So that's one thing you really got to worry about. But the thing is, as far as the talent is concerned, the talent of the team is concerned, Philadelphia Eagles got everybody beat by a mile as far as the talent is concerned.
No question the talent.
So, I mean, and plus, Nick Sirianni is a hell of a lot better than we thought he was. So, with that being said, we got to give credit where credit is due. But the thing I'm worried about, like I said, I'm not worried about the Cowboys. I'm not worried about Giants. I'm worried about trying to dethrone the Eagles. And that's what I'm worried about. And in order to do that, I have to have explosive offense. In order to have explosive offense, I have to have Scary Terry in that lineup because that's my cushion for my sophomore guy now. And you have to think about this. If you take him away from that team and Jaden Daniels regresses, now people are going to be looking at you like you're crazy as far as the ownership is concerned. You're only in like your this is only like your third year of ownership. You don't want to leave a bad taste in the fans' mouth already. You don't want to put that in their face. Go ahead, pay Scary Terry, get everybody in the camp so we can get this chemistry and we can start all over again. Then we can try to make another run. We made it to the NFC Championship last year, and we had a lackluster defense. We had a high-powered offense. The focal points of that was Scary Terry and Jaden Daniels. Let's keep that going. We ain't got to sit around here and try to play hardball in our third year's ownership. We ain't got to try to do that.
because that's the thing, champ. New ownership. Now, if this were old ownership, maybe, but with new ownership, they want to see how it goes. My thing is with Terry, I'm only going to judge him based on what I've seen from the past 7 years, who's been productive consistently. But it doesn't seem like to me they're interested in consistency. They're interested in more than that. BRF, what are your thoughts about Michael Parsons and Terry McLaurin requesting trades?
If I'm Washington, if I'm Washington, if I'm Josh Harris, if I'm Josh Harris, and I'm kind of gauging the situation. I look at Terry McLaurin. He's 29 years old. If you're worried about the age, okay, pay the man anyway. 2 years, 3 years, 30 a year. Just give it to him. 3 years, 90 million. Just give it to him. It ain't like he ain't earned it. It's not like he hasn't earned it. And at 30 million, he's not necessarily really resetting the market, but at the same time, you're giving him that value considering the receivers that have gotten paid. 3 years, 90 million for Terry McLaurin is pretty good because it's really good considering his age. But you give it to him. You have no reason not to. You are in the best position that you've been in a long, long time. You are in a position to really seriously, if you don't win the NFC East, make the playoffs as a wild card and really give teams hell and like go on a legit run to get to the Super Bowl this year. You have a legit shot. Keep your core together. Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson Jr. Keep that core together. You're adding in Deebo Samuel brings a whole new element, a whole new dimension of this offense because now you have a wide receiver who can not only catch passes, he's not greatest route runner in the world, no, but he can catch passes, amazing after the catch, and gives you flexibility out of the running game. So just give the man his money. Give the man his money. 3 years, $90 million. I would lay it on the line for Terry McLaurin. I think that's fair. I think that's fair for someone of Terry McLaurin's stature and everything he's given to that Washington franchise. Y'all basically hit on it. Having to go through the latter Dan Snyder years and now being under a regime that actually cares and actually wants to win. Get the people what they want to see. And that's Jaden Daniels throwing deep bombs to Terry McLaurin. Some of the prettiest passes in the league last year were Jaden Daniels deep bombs to Terry McLaurin. Deep bombs. So I would definitely do that. As far as the Dallas side, as far as Michael Parsons is concerned, there are it's tough because when Dak got his money and then CD got his money, I looked at Michael Parsons and I was like, oh man, it's gonna come to something at some point. So because I remember when everything first went down, I thought it was gonna be Dak and I thought it was gonna be Micah getting his money. I thought ultimately CD Lamb was gonna be the odd one out. It looks like Michael Parsons is gonna be the odd one out here. So now it's like, can you really, if I'm Dallas, you're in a situation now, can you really give him what he wants as far as like a contract? And the fact that you're not even like having real man-to-man talks with him or his agent as far as like want to get something done tells me you're not serious about it. So just if you're gonna trade him, go ahead. If you feel like you're not gonna be able to keep him, get something for him. Get something for him. And a guy with the talent of Michael Parsons and still being as young as he is, dude already has like 52 and a half sacks.
4 Pro Bowls, 3 All Pros.
Exactly. Yeah, like 52 and a half sacks. What was it? Like 4 forced fumbles already. the dude is an absolute menace. He's an absolute menace when it comes to rushing the passer. So go ahead and see what you can out. If you're not going to sign him, you better trade him and get what you and just kind of restock your draft capital a little bit. Maybe swing and get a player that could come in and contribute. There are going to be a bunch of teams out there looking at Michael Parsons, licking their chops. Teams like the LA Chargers, teams like the New York Jets, Don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won't get involved. They could use another pass rusher. Or Falcons. People are saying, people, you say what you want. I think the Falcons have had one of these off seasons where they haven't had one of these off seasons in a while where they're actually kind of greedy and they're actually trying to bring talent in. Don't write them off. There's a bunch of teams that Micah Parsons would come in and fit.
Just don't send them to Philadelphia.
Don't rule. But hey, don't rule them out.
Don't rule them
out. Don't think Howie Roseman ain't in the lab cooking.
No, I said just
coming up
don't.
With a game plan.
Just don't.
Oh no, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I would
not rule out that possibility.
I'm not ruling out the possibility. I don't think they're going to trade him in the division. I think if Micah Parsons goes to a Pennsylvania team, it's probably if it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would be an amazing fit for him because I mean, like my thing is you got TJ, you got Alex Highsmith. You bring in Micah. I mean, a guy like Alex Highsmith. I mean, it's they still technically run forms of the 3-4 defense. You just take Alex Highsmith, put him in one of the middle linebacker spots, and there you go. You got TJ Watt on one bookend, you got Micah Parsons on the other side. I mean, it's instantly the scariest duo pass rush wise in football if he goes. So there's a lot of teams that would just die at the idea of a Micah Parsons. So I don't think he's going to stay, but I don't know what Dallas is going to do as far as like trying to make a move. So I'm going to analyze this one hard. I want to see where it goes.
Well, Champ, you better tell Mama Champ to go hang out with Jerry, have some beer and nachos, because she needs to figure out what in the hell is the Dallas Cowboys doing. Because when Micah Parsons is demanding a trade request, and remember, Jerry keeps calling Micah Michael Parsons. You know his name, Jerry. I know you're getting up there in age, but you keep mispronouncing his name intentionally. That lets you know you're not taking it seriously.
He did the same thing with Zeke, with the whole
Zeke cool. Yeah, but Zeke cool. But eventually he gave Zeke his money, but it didn't come to that conclusion, Champ, with Micah. It didn't come to that conclusion with Zeke demanding a trade. Micah is now demanding a trade. And this is one of the preeminent defensive players that we have. Not just for the Dallas Cowboys, but in our game today. And he's telling you he wants out. So, hey, Jerry's not going to change, man. And I've said before, the worst thing that's happened with the Cowboys is Jerry Jones winning that Super Bowl against the Steelers with Barry Switzer as the head coach, because that gave Jerry the validation. I don't need a great GM. I don't need all these great things. I'm going to do it my way. And it's been 30 years. And still, no Super Bowls, no Super Bowl appearances, not even a conference championship appearance. You've won how many playoff games? And you still, and the reason why you still keep talking about this, Jerry, because it's the Dallas Cowboys. It's America's team. Fans are going to support this team. They're going to still patronize the product. So, Jerry, you better get your act together. It may be too late. And remember, Champ, you and I, we've talked about Jerry before. He, thank God for Stephen, because he saved them out of drafting Johnny Manziel and ended up going with Zach Martin.
Yeah, he went with Zach Martin. Jerry, look, I know I'm going to just be real. Jerry, do you want to be a circus, or do you really want to win Super Bowls? That's the thing. I know you're not going to change. At a certain point, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But do you want to win, or do you want some bull jive to be in your organization every year? That's my question to you. Because if you want to win, go ahead and do what needs to be done and everything. So if you want a horse number 6 before everything else goes into fruition, then you might want to consider go ahead and making that trade. Well, excuse me, making that trade and get a bunch of picks for them, or paying up that money. You're gonna have to do one of the two. And wouldn't it just be a shame for the 49ers to get it?
To pair him up with Nick Bosa?
Yeah, and Fred Warner. Yeah. So, I mean, stop. And the thing is, I know you can't, like people's always going to say, man, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But the thing is, you'll learn a thing or two when you want to win. You'll learn a thing or two when you want to win. When you want to win as bad as you want to take your next breath when you're not breathing, when you're getting choked out, then you will change your way of thinking real quick. And that's the problem with Jerry at this point. All that stuff you did in the 90s, it ain't working no more. It doesn't work. You squandered all that money with Tony Romo. And let's not forget, because of your lack, you have had, I'm going to give Jerry a lot of credit. You've had a hell of a lot of great players come through Dallas. DeMarcus Ware, Sean Lee, Dak Nguyen, Darren Woodson, Roy Williams. You've had a lot of great players. I think I said DeMarcus Ware already.
You did.
Yeah, so you've had a lot of great players.
DeMarco Murray. Des Bryant.
You had a hell of a lot of great players that came through there. But yet you did not win. And after a while, the common denominator is you. You can only go through so many coaches and so many bad relationships to everybody start saying, hey, that's you, partner. It's time. But like I said, you don't have to change if you want to keep doing what you're doing. If you want to keep, look, I'll make this comparison. If you want to keep being that drunk that's going to a bar every night and you coming back home and you stag on yourself, you bust your head open and you end up in the slammer, keep going to the bar drinking. But if you want to not waste your money or waste your family's money, bailing you out of jail, now you got to go to court. If you want to stop doing that, then stop going to the bar every Friday and falling over on yourself, throwing up. That's the analogy that I make. If you want to stop being a drunk, stop going to the bar. Stay behind at home, watch some TV. If you're going to drink at home. That's what I compare it to. But if you really want to keep doing what you're doing, keep going to that bar. You know they're going to kick you out after about the third drink. You know you're going to fight a bouncer. You know he's going to throw you out on your head and tombstone you. Now you got to go to jail. Now the cycle repeats itself. Stop doing that. It's done.
I don't know, champ. It's going to be a long time in order for Jerry Jones to come to that realization, champ. Like you said, you can't teach no dog new tricks. And the thing is with Jerry, not only with age, money. People with that amount of money don't like to be told what to do. And I think the problem is with people with that amount of money, they don't like to be told that they're wrong. And that they don't, and they're going to continuously do whatever they want to do. You said it yourself, champ. The definition of insanity is doing something more than once and expecting the same, expecting a different result. Exactly. And that's what Jerry is doing.
Hey, and I'm gonna just be real. Everybody with money don't want to be told what to do. These last 8 months has shown us somebody gonna tell you what to do. Either you can stop on your own or somebody else can stop you. So we can always preach to the choir about, well, people with money don't like to be told what to do. You see what's happening to them right now, don't you? We're going to get to that segment later. I'm not doing no spoilers, but you see what's happening to a lot of cats with a lot of money. They don't like to be told what to do. Okay, somebody going to tell you what to do in this world. Either your mistakes are going to tell you what not to do, or you're going to listen to the people that is advising you. Somebody going to tell you what to do in this world. Either your mistakes can, or the people that is advising you can. Something is going to tell you what to do, no matter what amount of money that you have.